Good day, listeners from around the world. This is the Wide World of Motorsports podcast, recorded for the week of March 7th, 2021, and this is also syndicated on Radio Waterloo 102.7. And we are here with co-host Mike Wallace. We got some news for you in the Wide World of Motorsports for all our listeners here today, and let's kick it off with IMSA and the 34 car field for the Sebring.
Yeah, that's a good car count, despite everything that's going on. You know, I'm happy to see that.
We're about to go into that second round of the season, so
yeah, finally. It feels like forever since Daytona.
Yeah,
it really does. I'm excited for this. It's going to be good. Good number. There's not a huge number of prototypes. We're only looking at 7 prototypes this time for Sebring, but it's a stacked class, that's for sure.
For the DPI with the number 48 Action Express.
Yeah, well, that's great. So, I mean, they, like we said before, they have committed to running the Michelin Endurance Cup. So that's, like we said before, that's just 4 races this year. But they're back. Sebring is one of those 4 races. So you have Jimmy Johnson, Kamui Kobayashi, and Simon Pagenaud in the number 48 Alley Cadillac. So that's pretty cool. And you were saying, and I didn't catch it, but you were telling me that Chad Knaus is helping them out.
Yeah, he tweeted that he would be helping. And at what capacity, though, we'll find out. And he was working with other HMS members at Daytona. So it's cool to see Chad still doing something with Jimmy, though. After so many years.
Yeah, and something, completely different. Right, it's nice to see, like we've said before, it's nice to see Jimmy step out of NASCAR. He had done a few Daytona 24s, but now he's stretching that. He's doing Sebring, he's doing Watkins Glen, which he has some knowledge of, but actually none of the boot. Right, NASCAR doesn't run the boot section, so he'll be amazing on most of the lap, and then he'll just have to learn the boot section. And then Road Atlanta, but then he's also doing IndyCar. So it's great to see Chad come out of NASCAR and apply his trade in a different series.
How about some of the other classes that we'll be looking at other than just the DPIs?
Yeah, you have LMP2s. Here we have 5, which is actually, I believe that's an uptick from last year. So you have 5 of those. They're all on driving the Eurekas. The team to watch out here for, in my opinion, is going to be probably PR1 Matheson with Ben Keating, Mikkel Jensen, and Scott Huffaker, or Aero Motorsports with Dwight Merriman, Kyle Tilley, and Ryan Dial. So those are good ones. And then you have the LMP3s. You got 6 of those, which is pretty cool. It's going to be very interesting to watch these cars do 12 hours at Sebring. So, Daytona was the first time, not the first time, sorry, but one of the first times to run in that capacity for 24 hours or at such high revs and everything. And they were fairly impressive. I think they were a lot better than people were expecting. But it'll be interesting to see these cars at Sebring with it being so bumpy and how they'll be able to stand up for 12 hours. And then you have GTLM. So we only have Corvette, BMW, and 1 Porsche 911 RSR.
I'm sure that'll be a Jordan Taylor show.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that they're the favored ones to come in and win. But I wouldn't
charity race.
Yeah, I wouldn't count out the WeatherTech racing car though. They have Cooper McNeil, who's a silver driver. His father Dave McNeil owns WeatherTech, the floor mat company. So WeatherTech Racing owns that team. So he races for his dad. But then he has Matthew Jaminet and Matty Campbell. So he's got a real stout. That's a really strong lineup in that Porsche, and I wouldn't count them out there. And then in GTD, you have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 GTD cars. So, I mean, that's great. That's a good list.
How about the Daytona runners-up, Sun Energy Racing?
Yeah. Well, they got Kenny Habul, he's the one. He owns Sun Energy, and he's good. Like, he's impressed me. He's improved a lot. It's great to see him. And they runners up, like you said, and at Daytona. And then he's paired with Mauro Engel, who is a Mercedes factory driver, fantastic. And you have Mikkel Grenier, the Canadian, stepping in to team up with them. So I mean, GTD seems to be. There's a couple teams that I could pick out here and say I don't think they're going to be a factor for the top step. There's a couple, but realistically, this is the type of this is a class where close your eyes and point, and that's as close as you're going to get to picking a winner for sure.
Mm-hmm. And after the first 2 races of the season at Daytona for the Mazda Miatas, it's going to be definitely interesting to see them take on the bumps at Sebring. The MX-5 Cup will join IMSA in its partner series in Sebring, March 17th to 19th, in support of the famous 12 Hours of Sebring. And it will be a doubleheader. Both races taking place on Friday, March 19th. MX-5 Cup is no stranger to Sebring, having raced there just as recently as 2018, since the introduction of the series in 2006.
It'll be a good race.
Yes. It's going to be a good weekend of racing.
Yeah, it will.
No doubt.
It'll be a great weekend.
And obviously for me, cheering for Jimmy there.
Yeah.
And it'll be teamed again with Simon Pagenaud and Kamui Kobayashi.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be good to see them race there, and looking forward to that. And by then it'll be with the clocks going ahead. So we'll see. We'll see. I think we'll see some more daylight. Then we would get an extra hour.
Yeah.
So.
It'll be good. It'll be a good race. I like that track. I mean, they run into the dark there, of course, which is always nice. So it'll be good. And I would also like to bring up the Michelin Pilot Challenge series that'll be racing on Friday at 2:30. So they run a 2-hour race there, 2:30 to 4:30. So a 2-hour race there. That's always a good race.
Yeah,
that's a great series, and I mean that track's just awesome.
So moving on to some of the other happenings in the Wide World of Motorsports here. Just going through the Vegas weekend for NASCAR.
Yeah.
With the 3 series, all 3 of the top series having some racing going on, and from order, in my opinion, from the trucks was the best race of the weekend, with John Hunter Nemechek beating off Kyle Busch. John Hunter Nemechek earning his first Camping World Truck Series win in 4 years, and he held off Kyle Busch, the young man. That the endurance in this young man, he outlasted the old man just by 0.69 seconds for the victory in Friday night's Buckled Up 200. And it was a 1-2 finish for KBM. Nemechek 23, he led a race best of 94 laps in the number 4 Toyota. And Nemechek held the point at the best point at the last lap there. It was looking like Kyle was going to get him, but no. But there is some controversy, however, during that night where Kyle Busch, it looked like at one point he had a tire go down and he spun out on the backstretch, which was announced will be reviewed by NASCAR. The officials said on a Tuesday, March 9th, that they would review the spin. And in the past, we've seen officials penalize drivers for even deductions and fines in the Cup Series standings after stuff in other series. So we're going to potentially see, I don't think there will be something like that to that extent, but there might be something for maybe, who knows what we'll see. I don't think it'll be that bad, though.
I don't know. I mean, they've done it to Bubba, right? They determined that he spun on purpose, and he only got
2019.
He got fined $50,000 and 120 owner points or something like that. I don't remember. So it
Junior did in 2004,
right? So I guess it's nothing new for NASCAR, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, his reactions to Bob Procris asking him questions.
I think that answers it
probably
for me.
Didn't help him.
No.
I think it answers the questions and probably didn't help his situation for sure.
Yeah, and so with his simple reply, nope. Very clear where he stands on that. But we have not heard anything as of yet, so likely I think we would have. So in this situation, maybe they're just saying they're going to view it just to going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give like a, hey, you know what? We know what you did there. We don't like it.
Yeah. You know, you and I talked about it before, and when it happened or that it was happening, and I kind of just said, if they're reviewing it and making a big deal of it to not penalize him, then I don't understand the point of it.
Right.
You know, I just feel like it's a waste of time for everybody and everything, because, you know, what are they going to do about it? Tell them to stop doing it? Well, they could just tell them to stop doing it in a driver's meeting. So I'm really curious what the whole point of this. We're reviewing it and coming out with it and making it a big media thing. Like, I don't know. I just don't get it.
Maybe a bit of it setting an example. What a guy
maybe
make an
what
example out of.
But
going on to Saturday, Dinger getting his second oval win of his career.
Amazing.
Holding off Hemrick in some of the final moments in the race on Saturday. He ended up holding off Hemrick by nearly a second to win his first series win of 2021 and in the sixth of his career. He's running full-time with Colleague Racing. I would call them an independent team, so it's cool to see that. And
for sure.
And since he's running full-time, it virtually locks him into the series playoff just 4 races into the season.
Yeah, I'm a big AJ fan, so I'm always happy to see him. Do well.
Absolutely, and an old guy, you know, showing up there. It's cool
veteran.
To see. Brendan Jones was third, Austin Cindric was fourth, and Noah Gragson rounded out the top five. Completing the top 10 was Michael Annett, Josh Berry, Justin Haley, Harrison Burton, and Jeb Burton. And just in his second series start, IndyCar Series driver Santino Ferrucci rallied to a 13th place finish. And I do believe he had some misfortunes, though, early on in the race. So that's cool to see another IndyCar guy do a good job.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good drive for him. That's a great drive for him. And that's a great drive for Josh Berry, actually, to come home in the top 10 there. I speak highly of him. I talk about him a lot, but I'm just happy. I think what Dale Jr. is doing for him and giving him the chance is great, and I think it's, it might start paying off.
Absolutely. And so going into Sunday, though, I think the big news here is with Kyle Larson securing his first NASCAR Cup win since his return in the 2021 season, sorry. And only a few races in, and he's already got a win, and now just 4 races. And he was suspended for a good chunk of 2020, so came back, and it hasn't looked like he had much rust. He was there all race. He had a piece.
I just, it is so impressive to me that he has had that whole year off. I think he's genuinely, sorry for the stuff that happened for him. But I keep wanting to say he took the year off. He didn't take the year off. He was fired basically, and didn't have a drive. And how awesome was it that Mr. Hendrick, Mr. H said, I'm going to give you a chance. And Kyle comes out 4 races in and wins a race. He'd been off for a year, and he comes and wins 4 races in.
Pretty much almost exactly a year, yeah.
Yeah, like that's phenomenal. That just shows what his talent is. I'd have to say that the number 5 car in the last 15 years hasn't been a particularly strong car. So it's nice to see that car get back in victory lane.
Mark
for sure.
and Kyle Busch, Mark Martin, Kyle Busch, they won. Like, speaking like I know them personally, Mark Martin, Kyle Busch, they won a couple of races in the number 5, as well as Casey Kane did. But as you kind of said, it definitely, I feel like, nothing against Casey Kane at all, but definitely it wasn't. I wouldn't have ever considered the 5 a contender in the last 15 years for anything. Now the 5 is back to its winning ways, and obviously with it being one of the most successful cars for HMS, so and its very first car. So I think this is definitely there should be some more sponsors on the way, in my opinion. That we should definitely start seeing some sponsors show up for Kyle Larson there. He's definitely going to be up there getting some TV time. So,
think so. I hope so.
Absolutely.
It's a good redemption. It's a good redemption story, and I hope that people give him the benefit of the doubt and give him a chance this year.
And then I think it was really cool to see on the sense too. Maybe for myself, maybe being a bit biased there, but I grew up a 5 fan, so and even just as we're recording, looking at my little cubby of all my favorite 5 diecast, Terry Labonte, and so I kind of seeing that win brought me back a little bit, and it kind of made me reappreciate NASCAR, the Cup Series specifically again, as I've always felt like the trucks and the other series were kind of the better series, but now it's like, okay, it kind of, I understand, I definitely understand a lot more about, what it takes to win, I guess. And Kyle Larson he's definitely a winner, and not to be a bandwagon jumper or anything like that, but it's cool to see that, someone who had made a mistake and in a time where there's really no path to, coming back, and this is really the first story, I feel like, during the last few years, and even perhaps this decade, we're seeing the first time someone has come back, and that's cool to see too. So
for sure.
Earlier on in the week, 3 Cup Series champions headed on down to Coda in good old Texas.
Yeah,
and they tackled on they were doing some Goodyear tire testing. They tackled that on.
Yeah, yeah, which is great, and the drivers seem to really like it, and they can't wait to. From what I read and heard, is that they can't wait to go and race there.
Yeah, and it marked the first time multiple NASCAR entries were making laps around the road course. Three-time NASCAR champ Tony Stewart, he drove the number 14 SHR4 during an exhibition run at COTA in 2019. Track officials determined only just last December that the long configuration will be used for every event in the NASCAR inaugural weekend there. So, even it's just a tire test. Good, obviously, that's a good time to get in.
Yeah, and you know what I'm really noticing too lately with NASCAR is that they're making their road course races a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Or a little, you know what I mean? Like
which they need to. Yeah, they needed to do.
yeah, of course they did. Like, they're running that new section at Sonoma, right? That IndyCar section, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think Watkins. I had a Mandela effect. I swear that Watkins Glen announced they were running the boot. I can't find anything on it though. I'm pretty sure they did. Though.
I'm pretty sure they talked about it too. Yeah, 100%. Because I remember that too, and I thought that's sweet. They're going to run down into the boot. That'll be sweet.
Yeah, whatever. We need to press them on this.
Yeah,
we need the truth because they should run. They should. Damn it, they should run the boot there.
Yeah, so it's nice to see that at the at COTA they're going to run the full circuit. And
speaking of some new tracks that we're not used to seeing, and with the Bristol Dirt coming up, and on a side note, we got our own little taste on iRacing of that. But Harvick, he's coming back to the trucks after a few years ago. Had a little incident, a little unhappy with the youngins. Said he ain't coming back to trucks. Now he's coming back. I was like, okay, good. Harv's coming back, which is interesting because some people they're mad that certain cup drivers will come. I'm not going to name names, but certain cup drivers will come down to the trucks. They're mad, but happy to see Happy Harv show up. He's going to make a run, and the number 17 Ford from David Gillen Racing, and he's gonna. It's called the Pinty's Truck Race on dirt. So. That'll be cool. That'll be Saturday, March 27th, 8 p.m. So we were talking in a previous episode about them running during the day on Sunday, but we'll see them run during the night, at least for that. Oh, it's gonna be so good. The trucks.
That's gonna be awesome. I cannot wait for this. I'm really looking forward to it. It's his first time. I'm looking forward to. We've seen the trucks on dirt. Not that I'm over that. I still love that, but we haven't seen the Xfinity series on dirt, so I'm really excited for that, and I'm really excited to see Cup on dirt. I mean,
it's gonna be. Oh, I'm excited, man. It's
gonna be good. That's the way it should be. There was a time back with IndyCar that they raced road courses. They raced. They raced ovals and they raced dirt ovals, and then it would have been USAC at the time. I don't believe it was called IndyCar. Then they got rid of the dirt and started adding road courses, and it took out of the. I think it takes out of the experience or out of the challenge for it. That's why I like seeing road courses with NASCAR, and I like seeing now dirt. You get a different mix in tracks. You get 2 miles, you get super speedways, 1.5 miles, 1 mile, half a mile. So it's great that they're going to add dirt. Absolutely,
and that Odessa is only a couple weeks away too. So. That's going to be. I believe that's at the very end of March. So we'll be looking forward to that.
And have you been watching anything? Like anybody running tests or anything like with other?
No, not yet. I don't think I've
seen
stuff. I don't think I've seen anything. But Brad Keselowski, he's going to be running a random dirt race somewhere And interesting enough, he's won the Bush Pole Award for this weekend. After last weekend, runner-up, seeing him start on a pole up at Phoenix. Kyle Larson second, Denny Hamlin third, Christopher Bell fourth, and Truex Jr. to round off the top five. There's actually some more fours as well we'll be seeing in the top 10 with Blaney in eighth, Joey Logano in ninth. So good to see a mix up there for this Sunday. I'm excited to always excited for Phoenix.
Yep, me too. I do enjoy Phoenix. I thought I wasn't going to like it with them changing the start finish line and everything like that, but no, I like it. It creates a different type of racing that track
absolutely
have seen before.
And here to another thing during the week I've noticed, and to just quickly wrap up the show here, Mike Joy and Noah Gragson having a little bit of a Twitter feud. And just to bring in context here, Mike Joy is basically saying that there are some drivers that are basically powered by, in quotes, daddy's pile of cash.
Interesting. If you were to ask me who I think would be in a Twitter feud, I probably could honestly say that I don't think Mike Joy would have ever been in a Twitter feud with somebody.
I think Gregson needs to take a break from Twitter.
Yeah, I think that's what needs to happen. He was pissed off. He said what he said, but now it just needs to stop.
Who knows? You know what? I don't know. I'm wondering what our listeners and viewers will think on that. Give us your feedback in the comments below. Wondering what you'd have to say about the feud, at least of a member of the media and a driver. You know, especially a longtime guy like Mike Joy. I think that's his job, but it is being blown out on Twitter. Noah needs to log out.
Yeah, I wonder how long. Junior said on his podcast the other day, because that situation got brought up, if he was going to do anything, and he said, "No, I'm just gonna kind of let it play out and see where it goes, and I don't want to interfere." Noah needs to learn. He needs to learn how to deal with this and how to navigate the situations like this. And but I'm curious if it's going to come to a point here where Dale feels like he needs to step in.
No, I think it'll be over this weekend. It'll be done with. We'll hear maybe something from Mike Joy, and that'll be it, I think.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah,
I think
maybe.
So. Well, that just about wraps it up for another edition of the Wide World of Motorsports podcast. Make sure you check us out on social media at the WWOMS on Facebook and at Twitter and Instagram, and check out past episodes of the Wide World of Motorsports podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, as well as RadioWaterloo.ca.
Hi, this is Alex Tagliani, NASCAR Pinty Series driver. You're tuned in from the track to the community on Wide World of Motorsports, the #1 motorsport show in the community.